It's time for another Copilot podcast. Yes.
Everyone's really excited that your mic is
That was
sorted
my
out.
intro. Yay! Everyone. All 6 million people.
Billion.
How many people was it? Was one comment, wasn't it, saying, the audio's a bit crap. Now, we took that seriously, that complaint, didn't we?
Yeah.
We spent vast sums of money solving it, so you better be happy.
Fast tens of pounds.
Right. What are we doing this week, or bi-week, or however often we're releasing these? What
You're
was
making
your
it sound like they
choice?
haven't started to go out yet.
Shut up.
Whereas they actually, no, they have. They have now. They're actually going into the world.
Exciting. What did you choose for this particular episode?
Oh, well, that would be Yumi and the Apocalypse,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool.
Should we start straight off with that one?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Go on then. Why on earth did you pick this one then?
Because on my drive to work, I saw a lot of adverts for it. And like, it was all over. Yeah, like I don't normally see that many like billboards around that are advertising TV shows anymore.
We don't really have billboards in England, do we? Not really. Not where we're from, anyway.
Yeah. Well, no. The last TV show I remember seeing advertised like that was Game of Thrones, and I was just like, "Well, this is going to be good then."
Oh yeah, around Southampton.
Yeah, around. I
Down
saw.
by Asda.
Yeah, I saw Game of Thrones ones in Hastings as well.
Exciting times.
Yeah. So I saw all
course.
those and then watched it. Wow, I watched the first episode.
So you are evidence for billboard advertising for being an effective medium for the business, I guess.
I guess.
Industry.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so what is it then? What's it all about?
It's a countdown to the apocalypse. There's going to be an apocalypse, and this is this guy's life up until the apocalypse. I think. I guess. I'm going to guess that's what happens at the end. There's an apocalypse.
Oh, have you not actually seen it all the way to the end?
No.
Is it still being released? Oh no, it finished quite recently.
Yeah, finished in December.
So we're nearly topical, but the current date is the 26th of January and it's debuting on NBC in America on the 28th. So we're almost topical.
Yeah, if we were American, we'd be on point with this.
Yeah, and still quite late because there's still like 6 weeks before this goes out.
Yes.
So that's something.
If in future you could refrain from dating these episodes so that people don't know what our turnaround time is like and how terrible it is.
But what if something major has happened? In between us recording this and it being released, what if Keith Chegwin's taken over as benign dictator of Britain?
I suppose that could happen. But luckily, once I finished with this, it'll just be on YouTube and it'll be scheduled. So it'll go out at some point, whatever happens. Unless,
That's all right, then.
because the second episode's BBC, unless they decide that they don't want me to use their trailer. Because that happens. But anyway, back to the show.
Back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, so... Okay, so there's 3... like, main characters. There's one main character. And there's 2 other sort of main characters, I think.
A supporting role, you might say.
Well, the thing is, it's weird, because they have their own, like, supporting cast of characters. Well, the thing, like, I guess it changes through the rest of it. Because I can't imagine them keeping these 3 separate stories super separate.
Well, at the very start of the episode, you see
them all together.
3 of them and some other people. They're all in what seems to be a bunker, awaiting the collision of a comet.
Yeah. But 2 of the characters, I didn't really like them that much. I wasn't that. I was like, cool. I can see why you're not going to survive.
Can I have a guess at which characters they're going to be?
Okay, go for it.
Would one of them be Rhonda and the other be Celine?
No, I don't like Jamie.
What? He's awesome. I like him.
Like, he's second, but I really like just all of the Vatican stuff. I thought it was all really good. I was just like, they could make this a whole show. I would have watched the shit out of it.
That's true. So the Vatican is Father Jude, who's played by Rob Lowe. I don't know how they got Rob Lowe to appear in this, and Sister Celine work to find the potential Antichrist and the world's saviour. I've got to be honest, I must have switched off at that point. I didn't know they were looking for the Antichrist.
Yeah. Literally, his job title is the Devil's Advocate. And I was just like, that's incredible.
The what?
The Devil's Advocate. You know, the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, that's great. And his entire job is to shit on miracles, to prove that they weren't miracles.
I think I could quite feasibly do that job.
Yeah, all you need to do is just walk around with a big stamp that just says science on it. Just like, why isn't this a miracle? Science.
It's like that Dara Brown joke. All the things she just said there are just shite.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, should we get back to another major part of the plot is the fact that Jamie, who we start off with, his wife has disappeared
with his twin brother.
Yeah, I kind of felt that was a little bit lazy writing, to be honest, when there's this he gets arrested for cybercrime and inciting riots and, you know, all this sort of thing. They accuse him of being the leader of Anonymous.
Yeah.
Or the
which is called
of
Deus Ex in this.
Yeah, I couldn't take it seriously when he was saying that Deus Ex Machina. I was like, oh, well, you know, maybe it's going to be Adam Jensen.
I wonder where you're getting your ideas from.
No idea. I really thought he was lazy writing when he was like, oh, haha, I'm adopted and I may or may not have a twin brother. But, really?
Yeah.
Because I was getting really, really involved in the mystery of why he was being targeted, when clearly he hadn't. Well, he appeared to not really know anything about it, but then I was thinking, oh, perhaps it's a huge double bluff, and he actually does have something to do with it, but he's playing it off well enough to convince the police. And then they're like, yeah, no, he was adopted. And
I thought that would have been a much more interesting route to go down. Just the sort of. I'm trying to think. There was something that I watched where that happens, where someone's
Usual
just
Suspects.
It's not what I was thinking of. There's something else. But like,
should we just take a moment to listen to you think then?
It just, like, you know, those shows where they just have like, a character who doesn't realise, like, sort of like the amnesia thing. They normally play it out as amnesia.
That annoys me as well.
But that's what I was watching. Blind Spot. That's what it was.
Well, that spoiled that then.
Not really. I'm just saying, there's a character in it. Might have amnesia and some really cool tattoos.
Oh yeah, that's sort of the premise, isn't it?
Yeah, who has a lot of like. But as over the episode, she discovers like skills that are trapped inside her.
I'm really looking forward to watching that.
It's
but
so
back
good.
to you being the apocalypse.
But I really hope this would do something sort of down that line, because I think that would have been a more interesting way for it to go. Rather than it just being like, oh, he's got a twin.
Yeah, I struggled with that, to be quite honest. But okay, so then what about the Rhonda plot line where she is arrested for taking the blame of a hacking crime which was actually committed by a 14-year-old son.
Yeah, I thought she was. I think it was just to get like the prison in there.
Yeah, it was kind of like Orange is the New Black light, wasn't it?
But Orange
Like
is
diet,
Orange is the new white
black.
supremacist Nazi tattoo.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. I thought that was quite a cool little story. I did enjoy that one.
I think like her whole point in the story arc was getting the twin brother into the show. Because otherwise, there's no reason for him to ever interact with anyone, apart from when Jamie finds him, which he probably will.
Well, oh, I see what you mean. So, like, for the reason that he wants to make contact with someone who's hacked the NSA or something, or just the government.
Yeah, hacked something.
So he believes it actually was her, and she's got all this press coverage. So he's gone, we could use her. But
Yeah.
actually, it's gonna be her son, and she's gonna be like, oh, I don't even know what PowerPoint is.
And her son's probably adopted as well and has a twin who actually did the thing.
Whose name is Bike.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I thought, like, it wasn't a terrible. Like, it's a good premise for a show. I just feel like they could have had maybe throw in some more interesting characters.
Yeah. Something else that I thought it was going to do something really quite bold, because you know, you start watching a show called You, Me and the Apocalypse. It starts and it's like, oh, there's an impending apocalypse. I really thought for about 5 minutes what it was going to be is that it sets up this brilliant mystery with Jamie and where has his wife gone and who's hacking all this, blah blah blah, and while he's getting interrogated, that's when the apocalypse hits. And it never has a satisfying ending for any of the mysteries. It just turns into like an apocalyptic show. I thought that would have been a stroke of genius. Just to be like, look, if the apocalypse comes, there's going to be people that are doing really important work and investigations like this that are suddenly just not going to matter anymore.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But I feel like this is probably the wrong show for that.
Yeah, it's a bit too light-hearted for something that's...
Yeah, it's a bit too funny apocalypse, rather than...
Yeah.
Like, stuff like a show on that premise would need to be almost Walking Dead-esque. But
Yeah.
with less zombies and more...
Well, to be fair, I didn't know how to, going into this, I haven't seen nothing about this show, so I wasn't aware of like the tone of it or anything like that. So I thought it could have been that sort of thing, which, yeah, that would have been really cool. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it aired at quite a reasonable time, like within the watershed.
was it Sky One? It was broadcast on, yeah.
Yeah, Sky One, I think maybe like 7 or 8 o'clock, possibly. Although maybe 9 o'clock, because I've just remembered all about Father Jude and his sweary potty mouth.
Oh yeah, Rob Lowe he's fucking good in that role.
Yeah, I think the only maybe other actor I could think of who would be good at a role like that would be maybe Pierre Capaldi, but he's busy stopping apocalypses.
Pierre Capaldi, I think. Oh shit. I'm thinking of another actor who I could really see in that role.
Is it Brian Blessed?
No, it's Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
I think he'd have been pretty good in that. I don't know why, but I just thought he would have been, he would have suited it quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's still quite good casting. I think like overall the casting was quite good.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've just read down the cast list on the Wikipedia page, and there is quite a huge spoiler in one of the cast members' little synopsis. Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Do you know that? Can you see the one I'm talking about?
No.
Go down to where Diana Rigg is.
Yeah.
Listeners, we invite you to go along and do the same thing.
Okay, yeah, I'm at where Diana Rigg is.
Have you read, like, her little character bio?
Is there a bit that has character bios?
On Wikipedia, cast Diana Rigg as Sutton, the mother of blah 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 blah.
Oh, crap. Oh, I see. I was looking at, like, on the right hand bar, it's got, like, the starring.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm hovering over it. It's not doing anything.
If only we could afford to be broadcast on Acast, and then we could put in and you could have interactive spoilers.
Yeah. What you need is just need to play some white noise over this bit. So it's just we're like, this is what happens in the rest of it, and then just white noise.
But just some elevator music.
We'll return to this broadcast after we stopped spoiling the shit out of it.
So yes, I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue. You are watching this currently, aren't you?
Sort of.
Oh,
no.
Sort of a more crucial point. More crucial? Is that a thing? Anyway, did you think it's funny?
I thought some of it was.
What parts of it were funny?
The Vatican stuff I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, but beyond that, because
there was
laughing at
his
the
mate.
Catholic Church, I always find funny. But
his mate was pretty funny.
Was he funny? Or was he annoying?
I don't know, but it's the same as he is in every other show that I've seen him in.
I was gonna say that guy. I don't even know the guy's name, which I feel quite bad for. But
he's in Game of Thrones. Joel Fry, I think.
Oh yeah, he's that chap, the one who
I've just clicked on him and I've seen his character's name and I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, hang on, I'm going to try and pronounce it. You ready for this? He plays Hizdar Zolorak in the hit series.
Actually, doesn't sound. You did all right there.
Hizdar, thank you very much. He's the guy who goes to Daenerys and pleads for her to open the fighting pits again, right?
Yeah, and he hangs around for a bit. He's in White Van Man as well, which I quite enjoyed, but they killed for no real reason.
Oh yeah, is that guy? He looks like a poet that I know and once made a film with. There's an interesting.
Yeah, but I thought I find that sort of humour quite funny. Of just like, because that's like you've lived with me. That's what I'm like. I'm just annoying.
Yeah, but then I didn't hate him, so.
Exactly. So he's better at it than me.
No, it's a decent enough performance. I just think it's, he plays that guy well. Maybe he's supposed to be annoying. He's like. Do you know who he reminded me of? Was Ed in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
As soon as the end of the world is announced, he's like, right, I'm getting pissed.
Which I feel like none of these characters did, which disappointed me. Father Jude might have been, but I think that was just a day-to-day living thing.
I did spot quite a major plot hole. It did bother. Plot holes don't usually bother me because I sort of think, well, if you're going along with the conceit, shut up, let me talk. If you're going along with the conceit of a show, like as fantastical or whatever it is, then it shouldn't bother you too much if there's a little. Oh well, I guess. Anyway, but I thought if the police have been following Jamie and investigating him for quite a long time, they would find somewhere that he's adopted and
Yeah.
that he actually does have a twin brother. So that bothered me that they were asking him what he was doing in Moscow when clearly he was bowling. That
Yeah.
sort of annoyed me a bit, but I think that's justified because it's in the show they're doing a police investigation, and I think that's an omission of quite a compelling piece of evidence if they have just, not discovered it.
Yeah. What I'm starting to notice is that more and more shows are doing the whole here's some family you didn't know about stuff. Like, not in the old, like, oh, here's your brother who was adopted, but here's someone who looks exactly fucking like you, because we want to save some money on one actor.
What other shows are doing that then?
I don't know. Have you seen or heard about Orphan Black, the show about clones?
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this.
It's incredible. It's so good.
When we lived together, there was a. But isn't that like there's more than one sort of twin, as it were?
Yeah.
Or clone.
It goes all multiplicity on that, which is great. It's honestly, it's really good.
You have been telling me to watch that for quite a long time, and I might actually listen to you one day.
Yeah. And now we're doing a podcast about pilots. I can make you watch it by just choosing it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is actually true.
Do you have any further points to make? I feel like we're skipping over a fair bit, like the Rhonda story, but
It's because neither of I don't really see that as a story. I see it more as that's more Ariel's story. Because
hang on, I need to. Oh yes. Also, by the way, Ariel, what the fuck?
he's adopted. So I feel like Thor making excuses for Loki now.
Yeah, that pretty much was his excuse, wasn't it? For whatever. Okay, so are you going to continue with it? You kind of half answered it a second ago.
At some point, I'm sure I'll watch some more of it. But
Yeah,
it's not one of those. I'm not going to binge it. I'm just going to. I don't know. Watch it at some point. I accidentally read the synopsis for episode 10. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you can still enjoy stuff even if you know what's going to happen in it.
Yeah. It's like, look at all those people who still watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, especially when their mate tells them fucking everything.
Okay, I told you one thing.
You told me like 5.
That's because someone told me and I was unhappy about it.
Do you know? Oh, did you see the thing going around Lad Bible about the chap who his mate had spoilt loads of things for him in the past, and he managed to get in to see Star Wars free? It's a guy called Gav Murphy. He works for IGN, incidentally. Did you see that? And he texted his mate going, "Oh, I've just seen Star Wars." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what's it like?" And he goes, "It's brilliant. All this happens." And he sends him a load of fake spoilers, and his mate's like, "You're a dick. You owe me 40 quid. I was going to go and see it tonight."
I do that. My occasionally people like for shows that I'm watching, people will ask me questions, and I'll just lie. Like
That's a really
I
good
fed you
idea.
some Game of Thrones spoilers that weren't true as well.
I don't remember any of those.
That's because
I
none
only
of them
remember
happened.
the true ones.
Well, I wanted to sow enough seeds of distrust so that I could tell you spoilers and be like, "Huh, I told him a spoiler, but you just not believe me." And then it happens, you'd be like, "Yeah, prick." There were long jokes on you.
I was very tempted because I went and saw Star Wars at midnight, and then you didn't see it for another like 2 weeks. I was tempted, but I didn't do it.
You know what? I was tempted to drive 3 hours to come and see it with you, so you couldn't do that to me.
That would have been so cool.
But I had to go
Anyway.
to work.
So yeah,
I think
that's-
that sums it. What, are
mean
you going to
Apocalypse?
watch it? Do you reckon?
I don't. The trouble is with doing this show, right? Is the list of things I want to carry on with and the time I have available. They don't sort of. They don't sort of fall into place. So
That's
I've
the
got
thing,
to
I
be
think
quite
there's-
choosy with my TV.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some that come up that we're both going to be like, "Shit, I'm watching that." But I
Yeah.
think there'll be. I mean, there's some stuff here that I've watched the entirety of already anyway. But
That's true.
I think realistically, this isn't really gonna make like my top 25 shows that I've watched. Just in general.
Is that what we're doing after like 50 episodes of Co-Pilots? This is what we're doing. We're going to do a 25 top TV shows.
Fuck it. Yeah, I guess so.
I guess we are now. Okay, shall we shift over to
Yes.
the house
Shall
next
we go
door?
inside?
Let's go inside number 9. God, that was very commercial radio, wasn't it?
That was almost a real segue. Because number 9's got disabled access. We can actually take segues in.
Wait, hang on. Which of us lives closer to number 9? Oh wait, no, your house is a house name, isn't it?
No. Number 55. You're 44. You win.
Ah, so I'm closer. Oh no, my maths was wrong. I thought there was a difference of 9.
That would have been incredible. Sadly,
So-
not.
Inside number 9 is from...
Fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. From two of the chaps who are in League of Gentlemen, Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, who also did Psychoville, which I watched when I was very young, and that shat me up good. Basically, the Inside Number 9 title refers to each episode revolving around a group of characters. It's always a group, isn't it? There's never just one character. Yeah, a group of characters who have a darkly comedic, would you say, story revolving around somewhere where the place name is Inside Number 9. So
It's just 9 of something.
Yeah, so it could be a house, or there's one that's in a
Train car.
train carriage, which was very good. There's one that's in a dressing room in a theatre.
Yeah.
There's one that's, well, it's set, and it's all set at different time periods as well. And the third series is going to be coming out very soon.
I'm so excited.
But the very first episode, and we will talk about A Quiet Night In, because you know technically I think this is the first show that we've talked about where it doesn't matter in which order you watch them, because each story is
each story is its
episode-
own pilot.
Yeah, each episode is its own self-contained story. So really, we could have picked anyone, but we will stick with the series 1, episode 1 as it was released, which was Sardines.
I didn't realise, but they actually make a different almost like film style poster for each episode.
Yeah, I've only just discovered that, and I'm very much enjoying it. I
They're
really like.
cool, almost like they're sort of retro posters. I have to say, but like they look incredible.
Yeah. I remember there was a poster for the last episode of series 2, which was the Seance episode. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely. Did we
that
watch
had
series
a
2 together? I feel like we
great
did.
poster. No, we didn't. We only watched the first one because at the time the first one was the only one that was out.
Yeah.
I
I thought we might have regrouped to watch series 2. So I'm not
No.
actually sure if I've
Wait,
seen it.
Really? Oh, they're really good. Anyway, back to Sardines, which is the first episode. So, one of the reasons that I really like these guys' work is because they are massive horror movie fans and film fans in general. So, you know, you can definitely feel a lot of the influence. So, Sardines, a lot of inspiration was from Rope. Oh no, the whole show was.
It's all very like you can see it through. Like some of the episodes are just. Well, there's that one episode that just doesn't have any fucking talking in it, and it's just all like beautifully shot. Like all of the camera placement is perfect for every episode that I can remember. But it's one of those things that's just like so like Marmite in that you might hate it, you might just do what we did and watch 6 whole episodes
on the bounce. And that was it. We started that at like 2 o'clock in the morning, didn't we? Because
we
we were
stupid
playing games, and then I was like, "Oh, I've got this TV show that we should watch," and we watched the whole thing.
When you suggested it, I was like, "Oh yeah, we'll watch like an episode," and then like hooked, just boom, hooked, and then just had to watch all of them.
That I cannot recommend them enough. They're so good. But anyway, back to the first one. The first one is set in a large sort of stately home, isn't it? There's a family who's clearly quite wealthy, but within the house, number 9, there is a wardrobe in which most of the episode is set, because the guests at this engagement party are playing sardines, which is like, you know, hide and seek, but then when you found the person,
you stay with them.
Who is hiding, you stay with them. So with each guest who finds them, a sort of deeper, darker story becomes, you know, it starts unfolding, and it ends in most of them, I'd say, end in a very shocking or disturbing manner, or even quite horrifying.
Yeah.
But the dialogue is pretty much the show's forte in this episode anyway, because the next one has none, as you mentioned. But
yeah,
for this particular episode, it's, you know, a throwaway comment can reveal a lot of stuff. And
yeah,
they are, while they're all these people who, you know, it becomes a very socially awkward situation, because the father figure of the family has been accused of paedophilia, and there's a lot of reveals of characters not being who they first appear to be, but it's hilariously funny at the same time as being really, really quite dark.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember in the first one, there's a character called John who they all want to avoid because he smells.
Yeah.
Which sounds quite base, but it does lend to funny situations.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain why, like, what makes it so good.
It's difficult to explain in the context of explaining about one episode, particularly the first one.
Yeah, because it's really, like, especially without just going through and saying, okay, so this happens, then this happens, then this, then this, then this, and then boom, Bernie.
There's a holy crap moment.
Yeah. Stinky.
Can't believe you're laughing at that. Just stinky. Oh, it's really funny.
I vaguely remember the order being important to how they enter the room. So, like, actually the order that they enter the room and become part of the game. I feel like it might.
Well, I suppose it's, you know, I think, is it the father that comes in last?
Yeah.
Andrew. I've got a feeling, yeah. When he comes in, that's when the biggest sort of plot reveals reveal themselves. But yeah, it does start with people who seemingly don't really know much about this previous scandal. But it's so good. It's so good. But I think we should start talking about A Quiet Night In, which is the second episode, which is technically going against our whole MO.
But this fucking episode, man. This fucking episode.
As an example to, you know, as a counterpoint to the show's strength being its dialogue, in the second episode, the show's strength is absolutely its lack of dialogue.
If they had added dialogue to this episode would have been worthless.
Well, to be fair, there is, I think, one line of dialogue right at the end, but the whole, basically, the story is that there is a pair of burglars who are played by Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton, who are terrible. But they try to break
Like,
into this.
Chuckle Brothers, terrible.
Oh yeah, it's completely slapstick. It's but they are terrible, and they try to steal a painting from a house, and it's done entirely as a tribute to silent cinema, basically. But it probably, there's a scene that made us laugh more than I think I've ever laughed with you before.
I've literally, reading through the plot again just to remind myself of it, and I've just read that bit and I'm just like, oh no, it's happening again. But no, oh my god, the fucking dogs, man. Fucking dogs.
That is ridiculous, though.
Like, that scene, I would recommend this entire show for that scene.
Yeah, definitely, because it was so unexpected, wasn't it? And we couldn't stop laughing. Admittedly, it was
had
like
to
3 o'clock in the
pause
morning.
The show. Like, we had to pause it and just fucking wait, and then rewind it and watch it again and do the same thing for a couple of times, and then just like, oh shit. It's like watching fail videos on YouTube.
It was just hilarious, wasn't it?
It was
ridiculous.
so good.
But again, yeah, that's really dark as well. That finishes in a really dark way.
I feel like what the show does really well is it has all of this sort of like funny comedic lead up that makes you sort of be like, yeah, this is funny. It's just a nice funny episode. And then it just goes, oh, and you're like, oh shit.
And then it just fucks you up. It just punches you in the stomach, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I love that not really a roller coaster, because it's a very up and then a very steep fucking down.
Yeah.
But
apart from, to be fair, the harrowing. Do you remember that one? The one with the woman who plays Narcissa Malfoy.
oh yeah, I didn't like that one.
Yeah, it was the probably least effective, but that's because it was too
in your face.
Out and out
there was
horror.
no subtle, like, it's the way I feel about horror films in general. And so if they're too in your face and too like, here's some fucked up shit that's gonna happen, and you're just like, okay, that was some fucked up shit. But if it's like, here's some really nice happy people, watch me murder them, and you're just like, oh, please stop. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like, if it's more subtle, is better. Because this isn't like, these episodes don't end in like a bloodbath. They end in like one sort of maybe kind of fucked up thing happening, and it's fine.
Well, a lot of them do end in a death of some kind,
or the discovery of a death.
I'll tell you which one I really didn't like that much, but everyone else did. And if you haven't seen series 2, then this is going to be difficult to describe, but the 12 Days of Christine, which is the one with what's her name? Oh bloody hell, I've gone completely blank. Sheridan Smith.
Yes.
Where have you seen that one?
One sec. I was just gonna.
Where it sort of it jumps around. It plays a lot with the timing of narrative. It jumps around from, I think, year to year, and then these events keep recurring throughout her sort of these 12 days that she experiences. But
I don't think I have seen that. I think I've only seen La Cochette. I think that's the one I've seen from series 2.
You haven't seen the rest of series 2?
I think so. I'm gonna need to get on that.
Oh, you need to watch them. You really need to. Cold Comfort in particular, that's one that's great, because it's all pretty much done from the perspective of 4 locked off cameras. So, and I think they're all like webcams and CCTV cameras and that sort of thing. Nana's Party as well. That's another one that's hilarious, but well dark.
I love the well dark ones. It's not what I like the most about this show is the fact that we're so used to getting comedies that are just comedies, and it's very few and far between that you either one get a comedy that's willing to go dark, and also that they do it well.
Yeah.
It seems like every episode has a different. It's based on a very different film, but they have the same pattern almost.
Yeah, it's weirdly formulaic, but then it will deviate from that quite readily.
But yeah, like if it's self-aware to the point that they know how the formula works, they can manipulate the formula to change it, I guess. What I like is the varying sizes of the sets as well. Like there are some that are mostly in a wardrobe, and some that are in huge, like the Narcissa Malfoy one is in quite a sizable house. And there's one that's just like a train carriage with 6 beds in it.
The trouble is that I'm now just flicking through the episode and I want to go back and watch them all again.
Definitely.
Because they're so good. I can't believe you haven't watched the second series.
I don't know why I didn't.
Definitely need to.
I think what I did is I watched the first episode and was like, oh man, I really want to watch this. But at the same time, I remember we had so much fun the first time we watched it together. I wanted to save it so we could watch it together. But we forgot because we're shit.
Well, and also we're quite far away now. So
at the time, it would have been convenient because you weren't that far away. But I think I was watching Walking Dead when season 2 came out.
At some point, we're gonna have to talk about The Walking Dead, aren't we? Because I think there hasn't been a single episode where we haven't mentioned The Walking Dead yet.
It's coming back this week, apparently.
This week?
Yeah.
You're kidding. This is the sound of me Googling for a show that's coming up in the past.
Well, yeah, only technically the past. It's our present.
Ah.
Time's a funny thing.
So, episode number 9. Are you going to continue watching it? Because
I don't know, man. I feel like now I've seen the first episode, I should probably go and watch the second episode over and over again. Yeah, I don't think that I could not enjoy any of this.
Yeah.
Before because this is starting to feel like we're wrapping up now, can we maybe just mention the casting this show has?
Oh, of course. That's something that we haven't really mentioned. Because if you look at the cast, it's the cream of British talent. That's the other thing. I think because they've earned such respect from things like League of Gentlemen and Psychoville, I think everyone sort of feels very, very, a lot of goodwill towards them.
Yeah.
And that's how they've managed to get a lot of really good actors.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the first season, up until really episode 3, there's no super big names, but then they just throw like Gemma Arterton at you and they're just like, she's in it, and you're just like, oh god damn, she is in it.
Tamsin Greig, Julia Davis, David Warner, Helen McCrory, who's the one who plays Narcissa Malfoy.
Yes.
Sheridan
Season
Smith,
2's
Tom
Jack
Ryan.
Whitehall.
Jack White. I forgot he was in it. He's actually quite good in it as well, which is nice.
Yeah, it draws some weirdly big names, which I'm surprised about for a half-hour BBC TV show.
Do you know what I really like though? It feels like it's not huge, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely where I want it to be, because I feel kind of proprietal about it. I'm sort of like, no, this is my show. You can all fuck off. I don't want everyone to suddenly realise what an amazing show this is, because it's, I love it so much.
We're doing exactly the same thing with a podcast.
I know.
But no, yeah, it's definitely one of those things that, like, the thing is, I don't want everyone to like it. Because if everyone likes it, it means my sense of humour is boring.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think we're pretty much done.
I guess
for
so.
Inside Number 9, aren't we?
Which is a short one. Which is sad, isn't it? Are you going to continue watching Inside Number 9?
Oh yeah, I mean the third series was.
There's an online episode.
Teased. What?
What?
Is there an episode we haven't watched?
Online only. What?
Oh my god.
Is it? Oh, clicking on the link just brought me to internet television. Great. It's called The Inventors. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to be. Oh, there's a common actor in our shows this week.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think.
Go on.
Shit. I can't remember who it was though.
Matthew Bainton. He's going to be in series 3 of Inside Number 9, and he was Jamie and Ariel in You Mean the Apocalypse?
The other thing. Yeah. So on a scale of which one's better? On a scale of 1 to, I don't know, 9. Which one would you say of these two shows is better?
I'd say it's just inside the number 9.
Oh, so it's not quite 10, but it's up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, the other thing that this show deals with, Inside Number 9 deals with quite well, is some of the episodes aren't necessary, because some of them deal with stuff like murder and paedophilia and that sort of, all that jazz that we're quite sort of used to seeing in comedies, because sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's paedophilia, which isn't funny. I realise that's what I was saying.
Except when it is, kid.
Come on, kids, it's fun. But what it does do, which I feel like is one of the reasons that it didn't go down well with a lot of people, is its take on, is it okay to make fun of people who are a bit like mental illness in general? And it pokes some fun at that.
Does it? Which episode specifically?
Tom and Jerry.
Oh my god, yeah, that is a strange one.
It's dark, but it's clever dark. Especially coming off the back of, because that's episode 3. It's coming off the back of the first two, sort of quite light-hearted but a bit murdery. You get to that and it's just like, oh, there's no murder. Is there murder? There probably is murder. I feel like there was murder.
I'm not sure. Is it murder or yes?
Yes, it's murder.
Well, the plot, the theory is that one guy, he invites a homeless guy into his flat and then can't get rid of him, with hilarious consequences.
Yeah. It's weird. I can't remember. It plays on schizophrenia, isn't it? That it deals with.
I don't think it's actually
no, it's multiple personalities.
Explicit, is it? Oh,
I can't remember,
show.
but it was dark.
I feel like I need to watch them all again, thinking about it. I think I might at some point. So I think we'll wrap up episode 6.
Yeah. We should have saved this for episode 9.
We should. But then should we not save 24 for episode 24? And any show that has a number in it, we should save for the corresponding number, because that would take a lot of planning. And it assumes that we're going to get that far without being shut down by the BBC, the government, the X-Files, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and the zombies. Wait,
And
what's next in our list of maybe we're doing these?
Next week,
It's
we have
Spooks
got-
and 24.
I think they're quite good matchup. They seem fairly similar.
They are. Actually, I'm just wondering, is there something else we could put Spooks in? Nah, yeah. No. Spooks 24.
No, I
it
think
works.
Spooks, yeah, it works quite well, like thematically. Like,
British
and then the week
spies,
after,
American spy, superhero, never needs to urinate man.
with hilarious consequences.
Yes.
Ow! I just headbutted my microphone.
Good.
Right. So yeah, that was episode 6 of the Co-Pilot podcast. If you'd like to donate us some money, please let us know, because we'd love some.
Well, put it in a bag and email me and get my address. And I'll totally share it with me.
We've given you a clue. Richard lives at number 55 and I'm number 44. but they're
55
not
somewhere.
Yeah. And I'm
I live in a big
44
house that's just
somewhere
shaped
else.
in the number 55. But still, please send me money. I know my house is huge, but send me money.
Wait, it could be a small number 55.
Yeah. I've written number 55 on the ground in chalk, and I sleep on top of it.
Under all that chalk. Anyway, cheers for listening.
If you
one of
made it past the 5 or 6 minutes of babbling that we just did.
Yeah. Oh well. We're still learning. We're still learning.
Years. Like,
Right.
favourite, subscribe, please. I need to feel
Like,
loved.
favourite, and subscribe. You social media.
You can't
whore.
even favourite anymore.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.